How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
You busy? You've been busy today?
Yeah, doing interviews and stuff. I never gave that many interviews like this
Yeah.
time. It's crazy. Crazy, yeah.
It's nice to be in demand, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a good sign. So it's great.
Yeah. People are excited to talk to you. People are excited to
Yeah.
see what's going on. And as far as like coroner related things go today, I mean, or at least this week, what's currently kind of keeping you busy outside of the press side of things?
Actually, mostly it's doing interviews, and nowadays you have to be an entrepreneur. So, in the past I just played guitar and wrote songs and recorded it, but nowadays it's a bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is, and actually, I started rehearsing a few days ago. Um, we have to learn to perform the new songs live,
Ooh.
so. That's
How's that?
planned for this weekend. Yeah,
How's
we
that going?
just
How's the
recorded it.
rehearsing going?
We start next weekend. So
Okay.
like with everybody,
You feel
should
prepared for
be.
it?
Yeah, we're everyone is excited and in a great mood. Yeah, I think
Well,
should be great.
I'm glad to hear it. Of course, it's the next stage after releasing an album as well. But before we get into that, what does an average day in your life look like? If we remove all the stuff you're having to do now, obviously the build to the album, the work that goes into that, just the average day, what would you normally be doing?
Average day would look like I come in here
Mm,
like 10 o'clock in the morning and leave around 7 or 8. Mostly I record a band or mix a
mm.
song, stuff like that.
You're always
That's
busy.
what I do
Yeah,
for a living. And
you're always busy, basically.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. That was a bit the problem, with that's I would say that's the main reason why this album took
Mm.
forever to
Time.
get finished. Yeah. But we weren't in a hurry either, so
Well, yeah, there's no need to be like you weren't under pressure. No one was trying to force you to do anything. It was time was always going to be a commodity. You have such busy lives anyway. But now here we are. Now, have you been enjoying the build to the release of Dissonance Theory? It's been a long time coming, and obviously anticipation is high.
yeah, I mean, before we released the first single, I was pretty nervous. I couldn't
Hmm.
sleep that night, so because I wasn't sure, okay, because we wrote that album for ourselves,
Of
like
course.
like we did in the past. We never wrote for a crowd. That's maybe why the music is a bit weird sometimes. But and I was thinking, oh, did we choose the right single? Because when the record company told me we have to put out two singles up front, I really hated
Hmm.
that idea. But nowadays, it has to be done that way. So, but for me, I had the problem which one to choose because I see the whole album as one piece,
Yeah.
and it's weird for me to put something out of context, and then the fans will they think that's the whole album will be like that.
How did you decide on what would be the singles then?
Um, I think Renewal is the last song we finished. It was
Mm.
it was the first riff I wrote for that album, and the last song we finished. So I thought that's maybe a sign, and I think it's a bit the average in the album, and it's a more heavy song. It's after all this time you can't come out with a ballad, I guess. Yeah, we don't
No,
have any ballads on that album, but you know what I'm saying.
Of course, no, I do know what you're saying. Absolutely. You want to come out hot, basically, hot and heavy, and just get everybody just aware of your back, and this is what you're doing. And the response to the singles has been fantastic. Has it matched any expectations that you had?
Um, I think it exceeded the expectation.
Mm.
It's yeah, we're overwhelmed by the resonance of everything so far. Like, like in almost all the magazine, we're gonna be album of the month, and a lot of people talk about album of the year, and we're on a lot of covers on magazines and stuff. We didn't expect that, but
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
It's happening.
it's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome. And I mean, we're almost there. October 17th, the album is out, Dissonance Theory, via Central Media. And for those who don't know, who some I don't know, obviously it's your first new album in over 30 years. Sum up how it feels to be talking about Coroner music from a here and now perspective. Instead of like a past, we're talking about modern music rather than looking at the past.
Yeah, I mean, before I started to write, I thought a lot about what should this album be? Should it be like more the Green era, like a continuation of Green?
Mm,
Because a lot of people like that. Other people hate it, and they prefer like the first three albums. But I found out really quick that I that doesn't make any sense, because different time, I'm a different person.
yeah.
So I just sat down and started writing.
Was there like can you identify what the creative spark was initially? Because we got to go back and obviously when you first returned to the stage in 2010 there was immediately a high demand for new music. But it's been a long process to get to this stage. So that initial creative spark for you to write new Coroner music, do you remember or can you identify what that looked like?
Yeah, it was like, at first we just wanted to play a few shows, a few festivals, small tour, and Marky never wanted to an album. When he quitted the band after 2 years into the reunion, it was like I talked to Ron, and we talked about I want to go on. I still have
Mm,
too much fun, and but then we have to write new music. We can't play like just the old classics for the next 20 years. So,
mm.
and we also wondered how would we sound nowadays, without, with keeping the DNA from the past, but come out with something fresh.
Well, you've
and
changed as
and
well over the years, haven't you? That's the thing, you've grown not just as a human being, but as an artist.
yeah, I mean, like all our albums sound different, there was we started like with the first album. We tried to show the people that we practiced a lot, and then before that we didn't play a show live. So
Mm.
then playing live, we learned, okay, maybe sometimes you have to play something with a groove or a bit slower than the fast part works better, because live shows, it's you don't have the perfect sound like on a
Of
record.
course.
So we learned that, and yeah, it went from there, and we learned from album to album.
Mm.
And
How about so applying what you had learned over the past 30 plus years as a musician and all the things that you do day to day, applying that to new Coroner music, the headspace to get into that writing, how easily did it come to you?
I think the main problem I had was being a producer. In my
Mm.
head, I can play way better guitar than what I can play on the guitar, so to speak, So sometimes that came into the way a little bit, I guess. And I mean, yeah, like I bore myself really quickly when I play. So
Okay.
sometimes I had like 30 or 50 riffs, and just one made it on the album at the end. So But what's the point in doing an album nowadays? You know,
Mm,
it's not there's no money in it and stuff. So
mm,
we always said, okay, we have to be happy with the songs, with the album. And we write it for us.
yeah. Yeah, it had to be. You're absolutely right. There's no money to be made there, or very little in the case. It's got to be about a
Yeah.
passion. And I read a quote from you where you said that this is the first Coroner album that you're fully satisfied with start to finish. Why is that?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that was the good thing about having my own studio,
Mm.
because like like the vocals, I was never involved in the recording of the vocals in the past because at
Mm.
the time they record the vocals, I had to work on my solos, like practice and
Yeah.
prepare stuff, and I always was a little bit disappointed, when I heard it, and this time I had full control over everything. Together with my co-producer Dennis Ross, we controlled everything, and
Mm.
it's everything is here for a reason. Every keyboard, every lyric is like I'm super happy with everything.
So you look at this album, I mean, and everything has everything worked how you wanted it to work, basically, because you were in control.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Um,
I'm not a yeah, maybe I am a control freak. I don't know. But I just have a vision, and if it doesn't sound like it sounded in my head, I'm not
mhm.
happy. I always hated when I heard the mastered record in the past. I was like, then the critics liked it, then I was okay with it. But I was
Okay.
never, and this I'm really proud of this new album.
I'm glad to hear it. It is an incredible album. I was quite young when Coroner was first around, so it's fabulous to kind of catch up now as well in this regard. And like just to listen to what you created here from a recording perspective. Um, did you have any moments or any thoughts initially where you thought, okay, I shouldn't record this because I'm too close to it?
At the beginning, I had some doubts about, does it make sense to make an
Mm.
album? I was a bit, maybe that was another reason why it took a bit longer. Maybe I had a little bit of a procrastination problem as well because of that. I always did put priorities on different stuff. Like for example, during COVID, I would have
Mm.
had time, but wasn't. I didn't have the right mindset back then. Was interested in doing other stuff.
So what was it?
So
I mean, if you talk about the mindset, like, I mean, COVID's a great example because it was such a unique period of time. It's impossible to ever replicate your mindset then, and fingers crossed we
right.
never have to. But so what was it? You were perhaps some days you were waking up and thinking, okay, I feel ready to work on Coroner, and then you would.
No, I always had to find time. Even if I had a few days off here in the studio, for some reason I wasn't creative in here. I'm
Mm.
super creative with all my customers and bands I work. But when wanted to write for Coroner, it was not possible because in every corner here, I see work that has to be done. I
Right.
so it only worked when I took like a few days off and went to the mountains. A friend gave me his apartment in the mountains here in Switzerland, and then stuff started to flow.
It's almost like you had to separate yourself from your normal life.
Absolutely, yeah. Like shut off the phone and everything, and just be there for myself. And I did that for a few days, and then Diego came in. Then we worked on the drums a little bit, and but after a week, I had to come back to the studio because the next band came in.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason for why it took forever.
Well, naturally, yeah. I mean, it's all perfectly understandable. Obviously, it's the kind of environment you would never ideally want to make an album under, but it happened and it's here now. And you're very proud of it yourself, you said. So clearly, you kind of reflect on it in a positive way, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
In the studio, what particular challenges did you face? Was there anything that, the recording process that you particularly found tough for yourself this time around?
Yeah, like we recorded the drums twice because my
Okay.
old manager, the manager I had um, at the time, he pressed me to go to the studio to record the drums. He said, "Yeah, then it takes a bit weigh some weight on your shoulder, then you have something already." But the songs weren't ready, so
Right.
we record them twice. So stuff like that. But when we recorded, it was just like normal work. It's just get into the mood and go for it.
Did you have any moments though where you kind of sat back and thought, "Oh, right, what it is work," and for you it's second nature. But do you have any moments where you're thinking, "Oh, this is Coroner, this is 30 plus years later, and here I am making the music, recording the music, we're creating this music again."
No, I just had, like I remember before I record the solos, I was sitting here in front of the console. I was like, okay, I have to record solos. Nowadays, all the guitar players they are so like technically brilliant, like on YouTube. But then I concentrated on what I can do best, and that's just playing from my heart. And I just went for it. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. You could go on, be it YouTube, whatever, TikTok, and see some incredible stuff going on. Why even bother to try to match it, right? You just do what you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
best.
But I think of course, with some exceptions, but a lot of that new stuff, it goes in one ear and goes out the other ear, and nothing stays. At
Mhm.
least not with me. It's music is not a circus. It's like when we recorded like the first few albums, it was about showing people that we practice a lot and that we can play. And nowadays, that's not important to me anymore. Like emotion and stuff like that is way more important.
You want people to connect to your music, in some way or
Yeah,
another. It's the point.
right.
We've already seen from, well, just a cursory look through social media, YouTube, and things like that, that is happening with the singles that have been released so far, that people are connecting. And it's interesting, at least I've noticed, that it's not just people who knew you back then. There are people who know your name and are discovering you for the first time, are also finding the connection. Have you noticed a bit of that yourself, that there's a lot of new people coming in?
Yeah, of course, I read all the comments. You know, a few are haters, but that's normal nowadays. Like 1% write
Yeah.
like weird stuff. And like 5% think it's okay, and the rest really loves it. I have the impression. So that's great.
Is there a track, obviously not released yet, but is there a track from the album that you're really interested to see the response to for whatever reason?
I don't know. Like I said before, for me, the whole album is like one piece, and
Yeah.
bring like one song out now. Prefer one would be like parents prefer one of their kids. I think that's weird for me.
No, I understand completely. Enjoy it as a full thing. So when you then
Yeah.
reflect on the journey to this point, sort of looking at the album creative period, beginning to where we are now, what are some of your favorite memories
Like during the recording process.
for this album? Yeah.
Or yeah. Oh, yeah, like when I was afraid a little bit of recording the solos, and then I
Mhm.
record the first one, and it came out great, and my wife was crying. She liked it that much and stuff like that.
Incredible.
And or when Ron, we worked on the vocals, and there's always like, Ron, you really have to mean what you're saying, what you're singing. That's the most important stuff. And yeah, when I heard like the finished track, it was like, yeah, I think we have something. We have something here.
Just that moment where you just thought, "Oh, yeah, this is clicking. I like this."
And I think as a musicians know that if you they feel when they have something special,
Mm.
something I can't describe that feeling, but musicians know what I'm talking about. And for me, like with every riff, I had to have this feeling, otherwise I wasn't happy. So.
Mm. And here we are now, a mere, we're 10 days from the time of recording.
Mhm.
So we're almost there. And obviously, I've already mentioned, planning now to go and do some practicing, get ready for the stage. It's kind of looking like 2026 is lining up nicely to be a bit of a busy year. You've already got some festivals lined up. Nothing in the UK yet, but fingers crossed that changes. Is the plan just to make 2026, from your perspective, a busy one live, just to get out there and play as much as possible?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we put a lot of heart blood into this album, and we want to play as much as we can. We have new management, new booking agencies we work, and they work really hard at the moment that we can hopefully play as much as we can at our
Yeah.
age. So there is a
Out.
lot. A few festivals are already confirmed, and
Yep.
but there is a lot in the pipeline. It's gonna get busy next year.
I am so pleased to hear that. And like I said already, I hope you come our way. But until then, of course, we have the album to enjoy and yeah, whatever comes next. Finally, Tommy, I just want to ask you, what does it mean to you to release this record?
Um, I don't know. It's like it was a lot of work, and I'm relieved. Kind of feel like relieved, and now it goes out um, into the world. And I'm proud of it, and I hope people will have as much fun as we had, like writing and recording it. And yeah, let's see what happens. Exciting times.
Isn't it just? I've heard it, and it is an incredible record. I can't wait to hear what the majority of people think. It is Dissonance Theory, as we said already, October 17th. Tommy, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.